says that the session is being recorded, right? I will only be posting the recording of myself and my PowerPoint slides. Okay, so your faces will not appear in the recordings, right? So do not be concerned, right? But at the same time, I will be monitoring all of you just to make sure that you're paying attention. So please have your cameras on. Try to tilt your camera such that I can see your full faces. I don't want to see the ceiling or the floor or the wall, okay? So this will help me to monitor your presence and your attentiveness during my lesson. And again, I appreciate all of you being here, right? Please make sure that you have your oral booklets in front of you, the one which I'm showing you right now on the screen, right? You should be able to see P4 oracy, oral communication, reading aloud, and stimulus-based conversation, right? So you have this booklet with you. Please have your writing materials with you as well. Without further ado, I will launch into my lesson, okay? Now, today, we will be looking at this picture, right? You should see my document scroller along with you. So let's turn to this. This is practice 2, right? And if I'm correct, we were halfway through practice 2, correct? We did section A and B, right? But we have not concluded section C and D. Okay, give me a thumbs up if I'm correct. We are halfway through practice 2, right? Yeah, okay, correct now? Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to do the second part of practice 2 together with you today as a bit of a revision, okay? And then I'm going to remind you of certain very important things that you need to complete by today, okay? I will send the same reminders out to your parents. So for those of you who have to leave earlier or who didn't catch it, check with your parents, okay? And your parents will have the reminders on their phones in the chat group. All right, so today I'm looking at this stimulus-based conversation on the study planner for students, okay? And we already discussed the first part of this in class, but we didn't have time to complete the second part, okay? The good news is that we are quite far ahead of the other classes, right? We have already completed practice 1, right? Many classes haven't even started practice 1 yet or are still in the midst of it. So this is like a bonus, okay? We're just going to go a little bit faster and further than the rest so that we have a bit more space next term to do other things, more fun things, okay? So that's my rationale for today's lesson. Now, very quickly, can you all remember what are the things I need to look out for in a picture? What is the special acronym that I taught you to remember to use when you answer questions in stimulus-based conversation? If anybody can remember, what is the acronym? Okay, good, Jing Kai. Right, go. Can you tell me what is the acronym first? Just tell me the acronym itself. Trees, very good. Trees. Excellent. Thank you, Jing Kai. I can hear you. You don't need to keep repeating yourself. Once is enough. Thank you. Right. So can anybody now follow up with what Jing Kai just said and tell me what does T, R, E, E, and S stand for? Without looking at your booklets, okay? Try not to look at your booklets. Try to remember based off of your memory, right? What does trees stand for? Without looking at your booklets, Don't look at your booklets, Okay. Who is this person who's annotating? Please stop annotating. Hold on, Okay, let's see. Okay, yes. Yes, Ethan, go ahead.
Thoughts,
Okay.
reasons, examples, explanations, suggestions.
And suggestions. Very good. Okay. So trees stands for thoughts, reasons, explanations, examples, or elaboration. Right, Ethan? Don't forget elaboration as well. And suggestions. Okay. So these are the main components of our responses. Okay. So today we are going to work on threes to answer the questions. But before that, I just want to point us to the pattern that all oral pictures will always have. Okay. So we already did over here, hold on, let me see. We already did over here questions A and B, right? Okay, so I just want to point out to all of you that question A is always tied to the picture. Okay, so if you remember when we answered question A, we always refer back to the picture and we use different parts of the picture to answer question A, right? But the moment I go into question B, okay, question B is going to be what I know. It's testing me on what I know and what I experience. So it's not going to be about the passage as much anymore, though it's related. So notice question A always starts with the words, look at the picture. Okay? So you must always reference the picture in your response. But look at question B. Is there any more look at the picture? No more, right? You see, it doesn't start with look at the picture. All the question Bs in all the oral pictures will always not be about the picture anymore. It will be about your experience, okay? So you see over here in question B, you see do you, okay? And I want to really highlight this word you, okay? Can you all please highlight the word you in your question B, all right? I know we've already written down the answer to question B, right? But just highlight this word you, okay? From question B onwards, all the questions will be testing what you know about the topic, you. So it's not about the picture anymore, it's about you, okay? So I want you to mouth the word you, or rather me, okay? So the question is about me, right? And I need to consider this question from my own experience and perspective, right? It's no longer about what the picture is showing you, it's about what you have experienced or remember of this particular topic. In this case, about study planning and about planning for your examinations or to do something, okay? So we did B, where we talk about, do you come up with revision plans? And then you all wrote your answers, your responses, right? You did this independently, right? Remember in class, we did this by ourselves. So now I'm going to go into the next part of part B, and then I'm going to structure the response. So please write your answers into your booklets along with me. I will keep my responses short, just to show you how I'm using trees as a bit of a revision process, okay? So let's go on to the next page, okay? And I will write on this, I will type on this, but you will write on yours. Please make sure you write smaller because there will be quite a lot to write, but I will only do this page, okay? So we're only doing this one page for this session today, and I should be finished in about 10 to 15 minutes, very fast, okay? So are you ready? Okay, please make sure you can see what I'm typing. If you have any problems viewing what I'm typing, please either raise your hands or send me a message and I'll try to enlarge it a little bit, okay? Let me try to make it a bit bigger. Okay, never mind, anyway. Okay, hold on. Okay, is this size okay? Can you all see the words on the screen? Yes, okay, I think for the majority of you, that's good. Thank you for nodding your heads. I can see your thumbs and your heads nodding, very good. Okay, so how do you make sure that you follow your revision plan? Okay, so I'm just going to model this and we'll just follow along. Then the next one, I'll ask some of you to try it out, okay? So I'm going to start with my thought. Okay, right. I think that it is important to follow my revision plan. Okay, so the word important, right? Let me just bold this. You can highlight it if you wish. Okay, the word important is my response to the how do you make sure that you follow your revision plan, right? So how do you make sure? First of all, I need to make the statement that this revision plan is important. That's why I want to follow it. Okay, then I will answer the question of how I'm going to follow it. Okay, so I think it is important to follow my revision plan. Why is it important to follow my revision plan? Okay, sorry about the capital T. Okay, so why is it? So I'm going to give my reasons, right? So because over here is going to be my reason, okay? Oops, sorry. Right, so again, my T, my R, quite easy, okay? So I think I'll just put T and R, easier without writing the entire word out. But it's fine if you've already written thoughts, it's okay, right? So Thought, I think it is important to follow my revision plan. Reason, because it helps me to stay focused and complete my revision before my examinations. And then the how part is going to be my explanation and my elaboration. Okay, so I'm going to put my E here, right? So how do I do it, right? I would usually paste a timetable above my study table to remind me of the things I need to do each day. Okay, again, sorry about the capitalization, but you get where I'm going with this. Okay. Then I'm going to go into my example. Okay, so remember my explanation is how do I make sure I put a timetable above my study table? Okay, in order to remind me of the things I need to do each day. And then my example, right? So I use the SMART goal that my teacher taught me in school to set goals for myself every day. Now, notice how I'm using what we learned even during FTGP when I'm responding to my oral question, okay? So always remember, when you answer questions in oral, right, you can draw from every subject. It's not just an English oral, right? You can draw from your maths, your science, your FTGP, your music, your art, your physical education. Anything that you learn in any subject should be used when you are answering your oral question. So it gives you more things to talk about. Okay, by the way, do you all still remember what SMART goal stands for? It's another acronym. Okay, can you all remember what SMART stands for in SMART goals? Anyone? Raise your hands. If you can remember even one or two of it, I'll be very happy. Can you all remember what SMART stands for? Oh, Kaiji, go.
Reality.
Sorry, say again.
Reality.
I can't hear you. It's very broken. Can you speak again?
Reality.
Oh, realistic, is it? Did you say realistic? Okay, Kaiji, you need to change your microphone because it's very bad quality. Please try to get a better quality microphone because I can hardly hear you. Yes, R stands for realistic. Okay, anybody else can remember what SMART stands for? Any of the other acronyms? Right, just very quickly because that's not the main focus of our lesson today. Okay, anybody? SMART, can you remember? Oh, Rochelle, go.
Timely.
Timely. Okay, very good. Timely. Very good. Thank you. All right, so I'm just going to say it stands for specific, measurable, okay, achievable, realistic, and timely. Okay, so notice when I elaborate, right, and I give an example, okay, I'm talking about something very specific. In this case, I'm giving you an example of a way that I plan for my revision. I use the SMART goals. It's a specific example. Okay, so always try to think of something very specific that you know about and you can introduce into the conversation, right? And of course, once you say SMART goals, wow, your teacher will be very impressed because she will know that, oh, you know, this student is able to take what he or she learned in FTGP and apply it now in English oral. And that is a skill of a good student. You're able to draw from different subjects and different things that you've learned or read about, and you can put it into use in this current setting, in this case, oral. Okay, so that's a mark of a very good student, and you will score very well for your oral if you can demonstrate that you're able to take, let's say, from physical education, right? Maybe you learned about how to swing a racket, and then you talk about that during English oral. The teacher will again be very impressed because you have learned something from a different subject, but now you're using it in English. Okay, so be very aware and alert to how you can do that anytime there's oral. Introduce different things you have learned from different subjects or even what you've read or watched online. Okay, but make sure it's a reputable source. Don't repeat something that you are not sure about. Okay, if you heard a rumor, please don't repeat that. Okay, it must be a factual source or it must be a reputable source, something that is reliable, right? Can be from a teacher, can be from, an online teaching lesson that you watch. Okay, so it helps me to track my progress. And plan my time so that I do not waste it and I will know whether I am able to complete my revision in time for my test or examination. Okay, so again, very, very simple. I am only using one set of trees. Okay, again, one set only, but in oral, right, you can come up with multiple things. So SMART goals can be one, drawing up a timetable can be two, right? Getting my friends to study with me can be three, right? So that I can have three different things I do to help myself follow my revision plan. But today, because I don't want to take up too much of your time, I'm only using one. Okay, but remember in oral, you can use multiple threes. So trees can grow more than one. Okay, so now I'm just growing one tree, but you can use many trees to answer the same question. Okay, so you just keep going back to TREES, then TREES again. Right, finally, S. Okay, S. Okay, so my suggestion. So how can I improve on my revision plan, right? How can I improve on making myself follow my revision plan? So I think about how things can be even better. Okay, so I might want to say, right, maybe, so I'll use the idea about studying with my friends, okay? I believe that studying alone is not as effective as studying with my friends. I would suggest, see the word suggest here, type to suggestion, that a small group of students study together so that they can help one another and also motivate and encourage each other. Okay, and I'm going to stop here. Okay, this is just a sample. I'm not going to go through more than this. So notice how I'm very systematic in building my tree. I'm growing my tree up from the T to the R to the E to the E and then finally to the S. And that's my complete tree. Okay, you don't always have to have S, right? Because if you can't think of a suggestion to improve, the thing is already very good, then you can leave it without the S. But at the very least, you should have T, R, E, and E. Okay, that part is quite important. At this point in time, do you have any questions? Are you unclear about any words or vocabularies that I've used to answer this question? All good, everybody? Right, so I'll give you a bit of time, don't worry, okay? I'm not going to rush you through this. You can take your time and write this down, okay? If you don't have your worksheet with you, like Yafia, who is outside, and Nat, who is in student care, you can always watch this video later, right? And then you can, use the video to write down what you missed when you have your booklet with you. Okay, so when you go home, you have your booklet with you, then you can just take your time and slowly scribe this into your booklet. But I will be collecting your booklets on Monday, so please make sure that this part at least is completed. Okay, right, then I will set you with something else to do after this. Okay, any questions? If not, I'm going to go into part C very quickly, because I'm very conscious of the time. Okay, and part C, I'm just going to go quite quickly, all right? I will model all of this for you, and then you all can do your own practice in practice 3. Okay, and then that's pretty much it already. Okay, good. Let's go. So what are some ways to motivate students to study hard? That's the question. Tell me about them. So what are some of the ways, right? So my thoughts will be some ways to motivate students to study hard, right? I think one way would be to provide them with incentives or rewards when they complete the tasks or the goals that they have set for themselves. Rewards might include, okay, so one way is reward, so reward, so that's my T, okay, then my R, right? So why is it important to have rewards? Why must I have rewards, right? This would serve as an encouragement each time they complete a part of their revision or study. It would help them to celebrate their successes and keep up their motivation to continue with their revision. Okay, so over here I am giving you the reason why rewards are good, the reason why rewards help to motivate students to study harder. Okay, so that's my T. And my R, again, very important. Then an example. Now, if I want to give an example here, what example would I give? What example would I give? An example of what? What kind of example would I give? Someone very quickly, what example would I give? As like, what type of example? What am I asking for here? An example of what? Anybody? You don't need to give me the actual example. Just explain to me an example of what? An example of what? Anyone? Anyone? Anyone knows what example I'm going to come up with? Or anybody knows what type of example I'm going to give you? Anyone? Anyone? Who's not sure? Shake your hand. Shake your head if you're not sure. Not sure. Okay. Then let me explain to you. So the example will be of a reward, right? Because I'm talking about rewards, right? So I must give an example of a reward, right? Okay, so what kind of reward? Okay, what kind of reward, for example, would help to encourage students to study harder? Okay, so for example, right, if I love to, what do I love to do? Let's say if I love to play soccer, right? My reward might be to play soccer with my buddies, right? Buddies or friends, right? For 1 hour each time I manage to complete a study goal or a revision practice paper, okay? Right, so every time I finish a practice paper, right, I will reward myself with 1 hour of soccer with my friends, right? Maybe downstairs at the void deck, okay? Or, right, and instead of using the word or, I can use the word alternatively, right? So if you find or very boring, right, you can use words like alternatively, on the other hand, right? These are very good linking words that tell you that there is another way. Okay, so if I'm not happy with soccer, or alternatively, I might relax with a few YouTube videos after a long study session. Okay, so I'm giving you a few examples of a reward, but I'm sure you can think of many more, right? But the point here is that I'm very structured, right? I tell you first that one way to motivate students is to give them rewards. That's my thought. Then I tell you the reason why rewards are good, right? Because it encourages the students to continue studying. Then I give you an example of a reward, right? What is a reward? A reward could be an hour of soccer, or it could be an hour of watching a few YouTube videos, okay? Right, then I'm going to elaborate on this, okay? And my elaboration, right, or my explanation is going to be about however, okay? Now this word however means that there is something that I need to be careful about, okay? And what do I need to be careful about rewards? What do you think I need to be careful about, right? If I talk about playing soccer or if I talk about watching YouTube videos, what do I need to be careful of? And I use the word however here to explain. Anyone? What do you think I need to be careful of when it comes to rewards? Hello, anybody has any ideas? What do I need to be careful about? Maybe if I talk about YouTube videos, what do I need to be careful of? Anyone? 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 Really? No? Okay, then I'll just tell you, right? So, however, I would need to be careful that I do not spend too much time with relaxation, that I forget to complete my revision or get distracted by my reward. Okay? So this is my elaboration and explanation linked to my example. So my example is reward. Reward is good. But then my explanation is, oh, but wait a minute, be very careful because rewards can also be distractions. So I need to be very, very careful, right? So my suggestion, perhaps I can get my parents to monitor my rewards, okay? So that I do not overdo it. I do not overindulge in that reward, right? Overindulge means that I enjoy too much and then I get too carried away. 1 hour becomes 2 hours, 2 hours becomes 4 hours. And then in the end, I spend more time playing soccer or I spend more time watching YouTube than I actually do revising. So that could be my suggestion, okay? I get my parents to monitor me so that I will not overdo it. Okay, can you all see? This is just one tree, but when I answer this question, there can be many trees. There are many ways to motivate students, right? Rewards is just one way. But if I keep on building different trees, I will have many things to talk about and I will never run out of things to say. So many of you always complain to Mr. Pang, right? Mr. Pang, I don't know what to say in oral. I run out of things to say after one sentence. If you use trees and you imagine that trees are never alone, there are always 2 or 3 trees together, then you will never run out of things to say. Okay, so when you finish your suggestion, go back to your T again, R-E-E-S, then go back to T again, R-E-E-S, build at least 2 or 3 different trees, and you will find that you have a lot to talk about in oral. You will never run out of things to say. Okay, so always remember, trees don't grow alone. Okay, you need a forest, right? So try to come up with 2 or 3 different cycles. But Mr. Pang has shown you only one tree here so that I can remind you of how to build your responses, okay? And as you get better at it, as you're more confident, you will find that you can build many, many trees, right? And you can keep on talking, in fact, until the time runs out and then the teacher has to ask you, I think that's enough, all right? And that's a good sign, okay? Very good. Last one, okay? We're done for the day and I'll just make a few announcements, okay? So what kind of motivation works best for you? Tell me about it, okay? So again, my thoughts, this is my own personal thoughts, Okay, what kind of motivation? Okay, sorry, Enzo, yes, you raised your hand.
For number C, I have no more space. Where do I write?
Perhaps you can just write it at the bottom of the page where there's a little bit of space. Can you squeeze in? You shouldn't be running out of too much space, right? Okay. If you wrote small, like I told you to at the beginning of the session, you should have enough space. Okay. I'm trying to adjust it. If you really run out of space, right below. Okay. I'll keep the last one short. Okay. Right. Thanks, Enzo, for checking in. Okay. So what kind of motivation works best for you? I think that motivation that involves rewards works best for me. Okay, so I'm just following through. I'm following from what I said earlier about rewards, okay? So that I can continue with my same point. Okay, try to link, right, between what you said in the previous question and what you're saying in the next question. But be careful not to repeat what you said, right? Don't copy and paste now. Right, then you will not get any additional marks. Okay, don't just repeat what you said for the previous question. You need to give more things. Okay, so tell me about it. Right, so now I'm talking about myself. Right, so my reason, why is it that rewards works best for me? Okay, I am a person. Okay, so I need to talk about myself. Who enjoys receiving rewards and gifts. I find it very fulfilling when I earn a reward for my hard work. Okay. Okay, E. Example, For example, last year, my parents rewarded my good performance with a trip to Cameron Highlands in Malaysia. Okay. I was so motivated by the trip to do even better this year. My parents have promised to bring me to Korea, for example. Okay, can you all see? I'm giving you an example of the reward that I got, right? And how it played an important role in motivating me, okay, to get even better. Okay, so my T, my R, and my E is already there, right? And that may be good enough, okay? So I'm just going to stop here, right? I'm just going to stop here. One, for time, and two, also, I don't want y'all to write until your hands get too tired. Okay, I'll stop here. But you see the point, right? You can use T, R, E, and S quite consistently for all the questions, right? For all the questions, okay? So get very used to this pattern, right? But please, in the exams, don't say T, and then R, and then E. Don't do that. Just join all your responses together so it makes a coherent whole. It makes one coherent narrative, what you're saying. Don't break it up by thoughts, don't need to say that. Don't need to label it. Okay, just in your head, think about your T, your R, your E, and your S, and then you'll be fine. Okay, so I'll give you all a few more minutes just to finish up. Okay, once you are done, can you just give me a thumbs up so I know that you are finished writing? And again, do not worry. If later I cut to the next thing and you all haven't finished copying, I will post all of this up on SLS. I will send all of this to your parents, okay, as a screenshot, and you will be able to access all of this for the rest of today, right? And you can complete copying. So don't worry if you cannot finish right now, okay? Again, this is a recording. I will post this recording link as a YouTube video link to your parents as well. So you can watch if you think I was going too fast, okay? You can rewatch it as many times as you like. Again, this is purely a revision on what we've already covered on thoughts, reasons, examples, explanations, and elaborations, and finally suggestions. Okay, so if you do this system, you are virtually guaranteed of a good performance in oral. But how many trees you grow will determine how excellent you perform, right? As many trees as you can for each question. I would recommend between 2 to 3 different trees. Okay, so plant as many trees as you can. 2 or 3 is the best. Any questions at this point before I go into the last part of today's lesson? And I'm on schedule. I plan to end at about 10:40, and we are coming to that. Any? None, no questions, right? Then I will transit to my next point, which is just to make a few announcements. Okay, so I'm going to stop share. Again, don't be distressed if you have not finished copying, right? I will send all of what I've shared today to your parents, okay? All right, so now you should see a PowerPoint slide. Okay, can you all see the PowerPoint slides? Not if you can. Okay, awesome. Okay, so give me 1 minute. Okay, right. So a few things that you need to do, right? And some deadlines. Please write this down, okay? Or make note of it, okay? Today, 17th of March, right? Today, 17th of March, you need to submit your non-weighted assessment. Your non-weighted assessment in SLS. There are 18 of you as of this morning who have not yet submitted. Okay, I will show you the names after this on the next slide of those who have not yet submitted, in case you are not sure. Okay, then I need you to complete your hold on, let me just okay. Yes, I need you to complete your oral practice 3, right? So we've done oral practice 2, we've completed it, right? So your homework is to do oral practice 3, sections A and B. Which ones are sections A and B? Right, I will show you. This one. Okay. Let me stop the share. Then let me start the share again. Okay. Please mark this down. Okay. This one. Okay. And I will give you, for this section, just this page, booklets, oral booklet practice 3, section A and B, right? Finish this by next Monday. Okay, so you have the weekend to do this, right? So just use TREES, right, to build 1 tree for me. No, actually do more than 1 tree if you can, okay? 2 trees for me for each of the questions. A part 1, A part 2, and B part 1. Okay, so just do this page that you see in front of you. This is your homework, right? And that's all for your homework, right? If you've already done your non-weighted assessment, you've recorded your oral reading passage, right? Then this is the only homework that I'm giving to you, right? If you haven't done that yet, please make sure that you complete your oral NWA recording latest by today, because I will start to mark and give you comments by today, okay? So that's the second item, your oral practice 3, sections A and B by Monday. And then finally 3, if you have not yet done so, please transfer your group writing into your writing booklets by next Wednesday. This one, don't worry, if your writing booklets are in school, you don't have it with you, we can always do it on Monday, Tuesday, okay? So this one is for next week, right? I think most of you have already done this in the lab. The last time we were there, we transferred our group writing, right, into our writing booklets. But if you haven't done so, by next Wednesday, okay? Now, the list of the students who have not yet submitted their NWA, okay? So please take note, right? If your name happens to be here, right? You have not yet submitted your NWA. And I'm only going to give you this week, today, to finish this. All you need to do is go into your NWA 1 and then record the passage. Read it, record it, and then submit it. All right? I want this to be done by today, please, so that I can start to give you a mark and comments by the time you come back to school on Monday. Can? Right? So this is the last thing that I want to remind you of. Again, please look at the names to see if your name happens to be on this list. That means you have not yet submitted. Okay, if your name is not on this list, right, that means you've already submitted. You don't need to do it. Okay, so Asher, Shalina, Yvonne, Jaslyn, Caitlin, Caden, Kevin, Chloe, Firel, Shakil, Ada, Renice, Rashana, Yadavi, Lucas, Sohan, Javen, and Yafia, please submit your NWA recording of the reading passage by today. Okay, by today. The rest of you, your names are not here. That means that you are okay. So please make sure that you do these 3 items by the deadlines that I've given to you. Okay? Any questions? If not, it's 10:42. I overshot by 2 minutes, but I think that's a reasonably healthy overshoot. Any questions? Any problems? If not, if all is good and you're all happy and you're all great, then I will see you on Monday. And I thank you for your time. Okay, you may go now. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Mr. Pang, I want to.
Yes, Ethan?
I forgot to bring my worksheet from school, so I copied it all down of what we written on Foolscap. So when I get my paper back on Monday, I'll transfer all of this into the paper.
Yes. Please do so. And again, I remind you to follow my instructions in class. I repeatedly reminded you to bring your oral booklets back because I will need it for the Zoom session. Please try not to sabotage yourself by not paying attention and then having to do things 2 or 3 times. Okay, Ken?
Okay. So like
All right,
just
that's all. Thank you.
so like just to like inform you that I already copied on Foolscap and I will transfer it. So I'll
Yes,
probably
but how are you going to do my assignment then? How are you going to do my assignment then without the booklet? Right? That's my point, right? Again, don't sabotage yourself by not following instructions that were clearly and repeatedly given to you during the lesson, right? That part I cannot do for you, right? I cannot do that part for you. You are the student, I am the teacher. I cannot step into the shoes of a student and fulfill the student's role for you, right? At the very least, you should be responsible for your own work and your own materials. Okay, right? There's nothing I can do for you. That means you just need to rush through your responses and you will be late in your submission of your oral booklet because you will not have done it by Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, nothing I can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. You're going to be late. That's all. Okay, thank you everybody else. I'll see you all on Monday. Bye.